In addition to Colored Solar Foundation, we also partner with MREA and Renew Wisconsin to bring the Solar for Good grants to local nonprofit organizations. And similarly, it's a great way for nonprofit organizations to have their projects supplemented, be it through donated solar panels or donated project funds. I think it leads to an important conversation that a lot of school districts and nonprofits probably don't have, and it's when they're looking for a way to generate more cash flow, to bring more money in so they can support more programs. I think one thing that we often overlook is operating expenses. And one way that you can significantly reduce your electric usage and your electricity costs are through solar. And sometimes with these grants, it's even an immediate realization of that saved money. So I think it's an important conversation that needs to be had for local nonprofits and school districts that are using commercial buildings that probably need a lot of electricity. And this is one way that we can get around, raising more money or cutting specific educational programs or other important programs that local nonprofits are offering. I think we live in a very polar environment, especially surrounding school district programs right now. And there are very few ways for operating costs to be cut without, getting rid of teachers or lowering salaries. I believe, because I have 2 kids myself, that education is one place that we don't need to be taking money away from. We need to be doing everything we can to get money put back into, the teachers' hands, the hands of the school district, so we can get those materials that we need so that we can fund the programs that we need. Getting into the Solar on Schools grant, this grant is designed for school districts. You really only get one shot at it. You only get to use it for one project. Not only does the Solar on Schools grant offer a way to save money, but it also offers an educational tool that is going to be around for a very long time for teaching children of all ages about clean and renewable energy, and beyond that, electricity in general. I think solar is a great teaching tool for the conversion of solar energy to electricity in a usable format. The system itself is a very great teaching opportunity, and that often gets overlooked as well. Another important point is that renewable energy jobs are not going anywhere, especially with the continued focus on transitioning to more and more renewable energy. It's important to introduce kids to these alternative energy systems, even at a very young age. So these Solar on Schools grants are fantastic for realizing the educational, financial, and community benefits of going solar. Myself, along with Colored Solar Foundation and MREA, can make this process super easy for you. So how does the Solar on Schools grant work? Well, it essentially is an in-kind module grant, and it's valued up to $20,000. So applicants are eligible to apply once for this grant when they're installing solar on any building within the school district. Grant applicants must show that they're prepared to proceed with the project within the next 12 months. So it's something that you kind of need to have your ducks in a row to do ahead of time. But as far as the planning and designing portion goes, that's really not a big deal at all. So it's really just securing the funding needed for actually doing the project beyond what you're given with the grant. For PV systems smaller than 100 kW, grants are awarded up to 50% of the system size. So that means if you have a 100 kW system, half of those panels required to make that system are going to be donated through this grant. For PV systems larger than that, grants are awarded for 50 kW DC. Additional panels for the solar project can be purchased through the Colored Solar Foundation, and I think that's what makes my working relationship with them very important. Maintaining consistency throughout the entire solar system is going to be an important part of this process. So knowing the materials that they suggest and the materials that they donate is extremely important. So what do you need to apply for this grant? First off, it would be important to have a NABCEP certified solar installer, which I am. I obtained my NABCEP certification through MREA, which is an organization involved in the Solar on Schools process. That's another important relationship that I have set the groundwork for so that this process can go smoothly. Essentially, what we need to do to get you ready for this grant for any specific school district is to go over the energy usage of whatever building that you're planning to put this on, and then size the system based on either financial goals for the project. I'm going to put together a whole list of things that people commonly ask, because I understand that a lot of people probably don't have much knowledge surrounding this topic. And again, my goal is to make you feel comfortable in pursuing a project like this, because they are a large commitment financially. Like I said before, that's an important one for nonprofits in the state of Wisconsin, similar to school districts. When it comes to generating more cash flow, securing more funds for whatever it is that these nonprofits are serving, an area often overlooked is, operating expenses. And the one place that you can cut them the quickest and the most long-term is through those energy costs, and you can do it through solar. So I think it's another important program that needs to be advocated for in local areas in the local areas that I serve. The Solar for Good initiative focuses on nonprofits and houses of worship. The awards are good for 50% of the panels needed for a specific project. And just like doing a solar project on a school, it offers a great opportunity for these nonprofits to educate the community on the positive impacts of solar. The Solar for Good grant is kind of a blanket term, and it covers several different ways that a project can be funded. Through Renew Wisconsin and Colored Solar Foundation, nonprofits can be awarded 50% of the panels required for their project based on system size. For smaller systems, under 100 kW, a nonprofit can be awarded 50% of the panels required, up to 75 panels. And similar, the projects that are larger, 100 kW and larger, they can be awarded up to 50% of the panels as well, up to 150 panels. So respectively, that's for 75 panels, that's $25,000 value. And then for 150 panels, that's about a $50,000 value. This is a phenomenal incentive. My favorite part about this Solar for Good grant is that the purchasing organizations can choose to get the remaining panels from Colored Solar Foundation, and all of those proceeds go right back into the same program. So Colored Solar Foundation, what they do is provide resources for schools and nonprofits to add solar or transition to solar. So anything we purchase from them, that goes right back into the same pot. As an alternative to having panels donated, the nonprofit organization can use the Array It Forward initiative to receive cash compensation for their projects, and the funds will be allocated after the project is installed. For solar systems smaller than 100 kW, a nonprofit can receive $150 for every 1 kW of solar installed, with a max of $10,000. And then for systems larger than 100 kW, you're still looking at $150 for every 1 kW of solar, but you're looking at a maximum of $20,000. For less than 100 kW, you're looking at a $10,000 max, and then for greater than 100 kW system, you're looking at a $20,000 max. And then one of my personal favorites, it's kind of a dual use application, is solar canopies. Renew Wisconsin will administer canopy donations through Colored Solar Foundation, and the canopy is sold complete, including the panels, beams, tie bars, clamps, and hardware. Each solar canopy project will have a base cash grant of $6,000 awarded for the first 20 kW, and then it increases $3,000 for every 10 kW after that. So just going through a little chart here, canopies from 20 to 29 kW, you're looking at $6,000. 30 to 39, $9,000. 40 to 49, $12,000. 50 to 59, $15,000. And that's still a pretty big system. Granted, this is a more expensive route to go, just because these canopies are really, really cool. These solar canopies look really, really cool, and they also offer protection from the elements for your planned outdoor space. I'm very excited about the solar canopies because I am offering them to regular clientele. They are a more expensive route, but they're a dual purpose solar application, which is something I love. Any way that solar can offer a double use is also important to me. So some frequently asked questions on the Solar for Good grant is who is eligible, and that's anyone in the state of Wisconsin that is a nonprofit or nonprofits serving the state of Wisconsin. There is a scoring system that I can run you through if we decide to move forward with the planning phase of securing one of these grants. It prioritizes organizations serving children or seniors, education, low-income communities, people of color, people with disabilities, and rural Wisconsin. Another question frequently asked is, can this be paired with a Focus on Energy grant? And the answer is yes, it can. You need to let them know in the application which other grants or funding you are receiving for the project, because that is an important consideration for these organizations. MREA, Renew Wisconsin, Colored Solar Foundation. The final frequently asked question is, how do I apply? And the simple answer is you need to do your research and figure out if this is something for your organization, something that makes sense, something you can afford even beyond the grant. And then you need to partner with one of these organizations or myself to begin the design process and analyze your utilities and see how we're going to make this thing work. The initial research for this project will require a site assessment, an assessment of your utility bills, your energy usage. We need to know what kind of system, how big the system is, where it needs to go, any other important considerations, the interconnection, how that's going to work with any local utilities that we end up working with. And then there's the actual grant proposal submittal, the entire application process. That paperwork needs to be completed, but I don't want to scare anyone off because none of this is really that significant. I'm a professional and I can do my job well. And then on the other end, MREA, Renew Wisconsin, and Colored Solar Foundation, this is what they do. Their goal is to help people secure these grants. They're doing everything they can to help you get all of this submitted properly, get the proper system for your organization, your school district, your nonprofit, and they want to see you succeed with this project, and they want to see you get funded as well. If you need more information on this process, reach out to me personally, and I will get you squared away. I will get you anything you need to participate in this grant.